Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Dose. Today we're talking about how to heal your brokenness. When I was a college student, when I was about a sophomore, maybe a junior, I found myself in a season of just making bad decisions. I wasn't handling my money very appropriately. I wasn't spending enough time with my loved ones, like my family and my friends. I wasn't focusing on my schoolwork. I wasn't thinking about long-term goals. And I found myself just in a season of making poor decisions, one after another after another. And maybe a couple bad decisions here and there kind of pitter themselves out. But I was compounding them, just one after another. And I found myself in a really tough spot. A really tough spot because I found that I had created some broken relationships. And I had created a situation for myself that I didn't know how I was going to get out of. I found myself in a really broken spot, Well, each summer when I was in college, I worked at a Bible camp just a couple of miles outside of Alexandria. And at Bible camp, we talk about how God meets us in every part of our life. And we had a worship one day during that summer of camp where we talked about God meeting us not just when hard things are happening. I think sometimes the theology of the cross lets us know that we know that when tough things are happening to us, well, God meets us there. But sometimes when the tough stuff is your own doing, your own sinfulness, it's hard to believe that God's going to show up there too. But during this worship, we were talking just about that, about how God will show up. God will create healing. God will create avenues for you to be healed. That was good news for this sinner in this time of immense brokenness. So here's the thing, is that God can do that healing with or without your help. God is God. God can do all things. But here's what I learned that summer, that even though God can do all of those things through God's Spirit, well, participating in it can maybe create healing even faster. One of my favorite verses in Scripture is Romans 12:12. I just love that. Romans 12:12. It says this, "Rejoice in our confident hope. Be patient in trouble and keep on praying." So what is our confident hope? Our confident hope is that God is God and God's going to show up. God's going to create goodness where there is no good. God's going to create healing where there is brokenness. We have confident hope. We can be patient in trouble because we have that hope. We know that God is God and God is going to show up, and that we can always keep praying. Surrendering over to God our worries, our frustrations, or even just a request to be made new again and again and again. God's going to respond to those prayers. And you participating in God's healing creates more healing. It gives you space to not only be healed yourself, but to pass that on to others. Be a reminder and a beacon of God's love, that even in your brokenness, even in my brokenness, even in the world's brokenness, we have a God that meets us, shows up, and creates avenues for healing. Thanks for showing up today on the Daily Dose. We're really glad that you tuned in. If you're watching on Facebook, you can like and share this video. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe so you can stay in tune with what we're doing. And for those of you joining us on cable, we're really glad that you tuned in, and we hope to see you again soon.